Alright, what's up YouTube? The saga continues. Noah versus the 7.3 liter Power Stroke diesel. So in tonight's episode, I've removed the fuel pump. That's what normally goes right there. That's the fuel pump spot where that little napkin is stuffed down in the hole. You can see I got the deleted pedestal on for the turbo, the deleted turbo pedestal with the EBV valve deleted, and there's the turbo, and I put the new boot on from Rip Raff Diesel. Awesome guys. And there's the new intake I kind of created from a Spectre 60-degree elbow and a aftermarket air filter. Just got rid of the box. I am going to get a pre-filter to go over that. These red lines, these aren't normally here. These aren't stock lines. This red line that goes from here to here, that's a crankcase breather mod. And so I think I did a video about that already, but there's a crankcase breather on this side. I flipped the doghouse around to face backwards. It normally goes right up into here. The problem with that is that any blow-by goes right directly into the turbo, and it gets all in your boots, and your boots get all yucky on the inside. So anyhow, crankcase breather mod, oil catch can, and you can see I got that over there. It's just a Amazon, eBay-ish type Chinese oil catch can. Definitely don't recommend the one that I got, but it worked. Had to buy new brass fittings for it. Was my main pet peeve, was that they would have leaked. They were just really cheap fittings. The oil catch can itself seems to be working for now. You can see kind of how I plumbed it in over here if you're interested. This is some heavy duty hose that I got from O'Reilly's. It's their oil and heat proof hose, general purpose hose. And there it is, connected to the back of the doghouse on the crankcase breather. And it just goes over to that oil box there, that oil catch can, and then back over and underneath here. You can see where I have it connected in the factory location right up in there to the bottom of the intake. So that's what I've done kind of so far. I've also had these valve covers off. I think I showed you guys that in a different video. Had the valve covers off. I did new valve covers on both sides. New valve cover gaskets, and then inside the gaskets there's these valve cover harness, your wiring harness for the cylinders, for the fuel injectors, and for the glow plugs, which had completely melted. I think I showed you guys that already, but I'll cut to a shot of that now. And that's what happened with that. So the valve covers the valve cover harnesses melted, and I replaced those. And so yeah, here we are. Got the fuel pump out, and got the fuel bowl out, and I did a new, this is the IPR, injection pressure regulator. And the reason why I'm going through all this, the reason why I'm doing this is that, after I replaced the turbo and after I did all the work with the valve covers and everything, it still has kind of a rough idle, so it shakes a little bit, and then when I give it some gas, it still kind of shakes a little bit more. So this is all kind of just a tune-up to try and get this thing running nice. If you know me, if you've seen the Banshee, I just can't stand when stuff doesn't run right. I don't know. There's something about me, there's something inside of me that just, if something I own isn't running right, it makes me irritated, and I just have to get to the bottom of it and fix it. If it's something that I can do that's not, overly expensive, that I can fix it with my own bare hands and some tools that I own, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy the parts, and I'm going to try and fix it. So here I am trying to fix this truck. The main issue, though, is that cylinder number 5 does not pass a contribution test. So what is a contribution test? Well, I'll show you guys a video of the contribution test later, but basically, a contribution test is just like the name sounds. The computer, one at a time, kills each cylinder, and it measures the output of power that is lost when you kill that cylinder. So in other words, it measures when that cylinder is turned off, how much power is lost. Now, if no power is lost when you turn off a cylinder, then that cylinder is not contributing anything to the engine. It's not contributing from that cylinder. So cylinder number 5 on this engine, which I believe is this one over here, is not passing the cylinder contribution test, and I believe the issue could be the injector. A lot of times it's the injector. But another thing I've heard is that if you have low fuel pressure, or if your H-pop, which is this thing in front, and your H-pop pressure isn't enough, the hydraulic fluid that's used to open and close the injectors isn't able to do so. So it could be a couple of different things. The worst case scenario would be if I had some sort of a cracked block, or if that cylinder was, maybe the ring on that cylinder was going, and the motor was just basically due for a rebuild. This motor's got 270,000 miles on it. But yeah, so I got the fuel pump out, got the fuel bowl out, did all those other things I just talked about. I got a new Super Duty belt tensioner on the front here. Got a new pulley right there. Got my new idler pulley there, nice and smooth, new bearing in there. I do have a new alternator that's going to go on there as well. Go ahead and go show you guys that now. So here's my new alternator over here. It's a brand new alternator getting ready to go on there. The alternator I did buy from Duralast, from O'Reilly's. I don't know why I said Duralast. The alternator that I did buy from O'Reilly's before this one, the pulley went bad the first day I put it on. It was total junk. Don't recommend the cheap one from O'Reilly. This is the more expensive O'Reilly version. Here's my new fuel pump. Getting ready to put this on right now. This is another O'Reilly buy. Going to be putting on the new fuel pump. Here's my fuel bowl that I've been kind of repairing. When I say repair, I put on these high pressure fuel injection lines. So a lot of these were kind of cracked and old, and I just figured I'll get all new lines. All new fuel injection hose clamps. So these are the really good, hose clamps that you can bolt on there, and they get on there nice and tight. And then these wires, a lot of them were frayed. So what I'm doing is I'm chopping any of the ones that are showing bare metal, chopping those, resoldering them, and then I'm going to get some heat shrink. Actually, Twinkle's picked me up some heat shrink over here. She just got back from town. She went to Harbor Freight for me. Thank you, Twinkles, very, very much. Got me some heat shrink so I can seal the fuel bowl up any place where it's got, the raw wire, or like right here where it's kind of just getting kind of worn down right there. So any place where it's showing bare copper, I'll split that wire, solder it back nice and good, and then I'll cover it up with some heat shrink like I was talking about. You can see I already kind of started on this one right here, putting this heat shrink, and then I resoldered this connection, was just down to just bare copper right there. So anywhere where it's like that, where it's got diesel on it and bare metals around, I mean, whatever this is supposed to do, I don't know what it is. I think this is the connector for some sort of a pressure switch at the bottom of the bowl there. But anytime you've got, an electrical signal with bare wire and metal around and diesel on it, it's going to be grounding out when it's not supposed to be, and things aren't going to function properly. So just cleaning up all those bare wires, cleaning up the fuel bowl. Got the pressure, this is the pressure regulator. I've got that off right now. I was going to just double check to make sure that the screen inside here was clean, even though I had it off before. I'm going to take it off again, clean it out. There's a mod where you put a BB inside of here, a steel BB. There's a spring here, and you put a BB in the back, and I'm thinking about doing that. I might wait to do that, though, until after I put this all back together. I kind of just want to see what the new fuel pump and stuff does as far as fuel pressure, if that solves my issue. And that issue is, started to kind of touch on it earlier, but it has a rough idle, and then if I romp on the gas too hard, the fuel pressure will actually drop all the way down from 60, say, to about 30. And so I've heard anything under 40 is not really good. What I'm going to do is put the new fuel pump on and see how the fuel pressure does, and then if that still doesn't help, get it up high enough, I might just go ahead and put the BB in the back of there underneath the spring, which I've read, it's a custom mod that people do to help bring their fuel pressure up. They put a little BB in the back, and that stiffens the spring up and pushes it and makes this fuel pressure regulator work just a little bit harder to open, therefore increasing the pressure and helping with that issue. So So there we go, guys. I got the alternator, fuel pump. I already got the IPR in there, the injection pressure regulator. Got that installed. New fuel lines on the fuel bowl. I went ahead and put a new fuel filter in there recently. You can see it in there. You know, new fuel lines and hose clamps, high pressure hose clamps.